Hi, you guys. It's Trudy, and I am so excited because I am here today with my very, very special new friend, Angie, who I have come to absolutely adore. This woman came into my life when I had COVID, and the messages that she sent me were so beautiful and so profound that I had to like really go deep in my memory to go, do I know her? Have I overlooked something? Did I meet her somewhere? No, I think that we've just traveled through many lifetimes together. And yes, and reunited here because of a feeling. She just had a feeling that she needed to reach out to me, and I am so grateful that she did. So I invited her on today. I'm going to read what I wrote about this. And the way I titled it is what came from my heart. And it's an extraordinary conversation for those who are wanting to dive deep in and live their best life. Angie is no stranger to heartbreak and struggle. After a dark night of the soul, she and her husband made the brave choice to break free, leaving the life that they have known behind to follow their dreams. Welcome, Angie.
Oh, thank you. I have water coming from my eyes. I'm so honored and grateful to be here, and just thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Friendship.
Water from the eyes.
So beautiful.
Yes, it's so beautiful. You and I have discovered there's no coincidence. We both landed on that in our first conversation, and that we could finish each other's sentences.
I know. It's so awesome. Soul sisters, truly.
Soul sisters.
Yes.
Today is 11/11.
I know it, right?
Twin flames.
Yeah.
You can have twin flames that are, soulmates, sacred contracts, twin flames of all natures. It's not, everybody thinks it's all just romantic. It's not.
No, 1,000,000%. And that's exactly it. I really didn't know you. I have no idea how we crossed worlds, but it was reach out to her. And I'm just realizing that anytime I have those nudges, I just don't even question it. It's like, okay, I don't know why, but here we go. Thinking of you, like sending you love. And it's just so extraordinary. Every time I get off the phone with you, I'm like, thank you for that nudge. So.
That's how I feel too. When I got your first messages, that's exactly what it was. It was this loving person saying, you are in my thoughts today. I'm just sending you love. Like, I'm just there for you, holding space. And it was like so perfect timing that I thought, do I know her? And I did.
Yes.
Like, oh, I just got done rereading my first 3 chapters of the book that I'm about to release. And one of the things that I say, from not originally from me, but something that I just read recently was, we are brought up to believe that we are a body with a soul, but really we are a soul or a spirit with a body. So I have no doubt that beyond this realm, you and I are like having a party.
For sure. 1,000,000%.
We are BFFs. Yeah. We are just hanging.
Is it so cool? It's so cool. And when you do meet those people, you know it. You just know it.
And I love that you said that you trust your inner knowings, your niggles. Like that you have learned to listen to those, because how often do we just push them aside, or our brains kick in, our minds kick in, and we, we feel uncomfortable reaching out to someone we don't know or following that thought. And I've learned, for me, a lot of times it is a really deep intuitive knowing against a story that I'm telling myself. So the story will win 9 times out of 10 in my past, before I was doing this, all my work. But it was that the mind would kick in, the story would kick in, and it would just negate whatever the intuitive hit was.
Yeah.
As nonsense or fluff or, whatever it was, woo-woo. Now I find that, oh my God, if I want those doors to open, go with the niggle, go with the niggle, go with the niggle.
Yep. Well, and, Mel Robbins has that 5-second rule, but even before I knew of any of that, I would just tell myself, if you get a nudge and it takes less than 5 seconds, do it now. So I don't even think about it. I just get a nudge and I'm like, I can get it. If I can start that in less than 5 seconds, I'm just going to do it, because you do. you think about it, or it comes and it goes, and then, that opportunity is gone. But, you look at this, like, what a friendship we'd miss out on if we didn't listen to those, and how many beautiful, beautiful things in life open up just because we're like, get
I
the
hear you. And that's perfect segue. So you are about to like embark on a major life adventure. And when you talked to me about this, my gypsy went crazy. She was inside of me doing a jig. She was so excited. Like you say, you get water in your eyes. Like I got tears from excitement, from like, oh, I love this. So I'm going to let you tell your story and include whatever you feel comfortable with, because like I said, it hasn't been easy for you. But what I gleaned from that is that what your takeaway was that life is short. Yeah. And like we don't have time to waste it on like nonsense. And we need to just like embrace our dreams and go for them. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah. Oh boy, where do I start? So just so that your audience can have a little bit of background, I'm married to a 7th-generation cattle farmer. So in terms of role, that's where small town vibes, right? I was a 1st grade school teacher, married to a 7th-generation cattle farmer, knew that's what we were going to be like our whole lives, because that was where we were raised, and we literally bought my childhood home and renovated it and all these things. So I say all of that because I think we all do come with certain programs that we've allowed to be our story. And oftentimes we forget that we actually have the pen the whole time to our story. So long story short, over 10 years ago, I think it's close to 15 now, I lost my father and a bunch of people in my family. So it was one of those, like, I call myself contingently happy, meaning I was happy as long as everything in my outside world was the way that I wanted it to be, right? Eckhart Tolle says most of human suffering is wanting things to be different than they are. And so I was contingently happy, but the other side of that, the flip side of that coin, is what do you do when everything isn't, right? And so I found myself in this, as you say, dark night of the soul, like the knees hit the bathroom floor and you're like, now what? Like, what do I do with these circumstances that I don't want? And, also being a 1st grade school teacher, I realized very quickly that we are just handing our kids the stories that we have, and we have no tools to give them if we also don't find them ourselves. And at that point in time, I didn't know that we could co-create our lives. I didn't know the power that we had. I didn't know that we were spiritual beings just having a human experience. I didn't know any of this. I just thought we were humans and life circumstances happened to us. And if we got dealt that hand, then do the best you can. And what I literally remember being in the bathtub being like, is this it? God, universe, source, I don't even know what to call you right now, or if you were even there, because there's so much suffering, but is this it? And just really and I hear so many coaches say that they had a moment where they like made a deal with God, and that was really where I was. And I'm not even sure that I had the presence of knowing that there was something bigger in order, but I was just praying that maybe there was something, there's something hearing me. Help a sister out, because my mom had been married 33 years. She was suffering. Everybody was suffering. And so, and that was my lens, right? Obviously. And long story short, began like, I call myself a research junkie. Like I literally was obsessed with the books, like just learning about human potential and learning that we're not just meat suits and things happen to us, like learning that there's so much more and there's a bigger picture, and how actually we can use the contrast to help us learn so much about ourselves in this physical existence, and that it's not happening to us, but rather it is happening for us if we choose to see the wisdom, if we choose to see the message in the mess, if we choose to learn and grow from it, that the evolution of our soul in this life can just, we get to learn the power of what's within us. And so all of that to say, I then married my husband, and again, paradigms, right? So we're still our two human selves in this world, but we're learning these things. And most recently, he struggled with a mental health struggle. And his dad got brain cancer, and the two of them farmed together, and it just was one of those things that rocked his world. And he was, learning the things, but he was kind of in this battle within himself, like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And come to find out, though, he was starting to realize his own capacity for creating a life that he loves. So it was like, I think a lot of us can relate to that moment in time where we have a foot in two worlds, right? When we're on the personal development journey, I often picture like a foot in two canoes, and we're in the lake, and we're like, there's this new life of hope and possibility and breaking the chains and changing the paradigm. But there's still this old conditioned version of us that's like, but aren't we safer here? Like, this is more familiar. Don't we want to stay here? And there's really like that rocking for a while, and it feels very unsafe at that moment. So he struggled with mental health, and even in the midst of it, Trudy, I swear, like he was like, can you say this is happening for us, not to us? And at the time, like, my world was rocked. It was hard. And I literally remember just like, there's times where we have a knowing, and then there's times when we have like a knowing, like I know, like I know, like I know, and I have no idea where this is coming from, but I'm held, like I'm supported, and yes. And there was a moment when I was like, yeah, I do. It makes no sense to my human self right now. Like, I don't understand why you're going through this, and I'm scared, and I'm sad, and I'm worried. But yes, I really do believe this is happening for us. And I swear that, I know you talk about the uncaged woman, but I swear that something happens to us when we hit that space. It's like there's this like warrior, like the war paint goes on, and there's like this fierce something inside of you that's like, we got this. Like, we got this. And so long story short, got him into treatment, and he was able to start healing. I literally never thought of that this was an option before, but I packed up my 2 dogs and a couple things for my house, and I packed my car, and I swooped him up and drove him 1,200 miles to Florida for treatment so he could get a long-term treatment, and we could get him to a safe place where he could start healing. And we're like, wait a minute. Remember when we used to leave vacation and be sad to go back to our life? What if like life is but a dream, and we can create a life that we love? This is what we learn. And so, long story short, I know I told you the whole big thing in a nutshell, but
I love the whole big thing. I'm like wiping tears. I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I could stand up and cheer.
oh yeah, thank you, friend. Yeah, so now we're home selling cattle, and we're getting an RV, and we're traveling. And why do we wait for the bucket list until we like are thinking of kicking the bucket? Like, that makes zero sense. Like, what if we do it while we're alive and well, and can taste it and experience it, and let these eyeballs see what they want to see, and love life? And so yeah, so that's where we are.
It's so beautiful. So you guys, so this journey you're about to embark on is that you're getting an RV, and you're taking off, you're hitting the road, and you're going to go see the country, and you're going to go like kind of, right? I mean, am I understanding that correctly? Like, let freedom lead.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful business, so you're capable of working from anywhere that you have, I guess, a phone and Wi-Fi like me. We worked hard to have this lifestyle, this laptop lifestyle. Yeah. So I just think it's amazing to hear your story. And oh my God, how much do I love that? The war paint. We've got this. You're 100% right. At some point, something just triggers inside of us. And that's like that's our spirit, right? That's the infinite part of us, our higher wisdom stepping in and saying, I've got you.
Yeah. It's like
You've got
nobody's
this.
dying. Nobody's dying here. Like we think that people just pass or that heartache is the end all be all, but we are, just like you said, we're infinite beings. Nobody's going anywhere. Like we're going to change clothes. We're going to change out of this set of clothes one day and go on to the next. But when you realize that we feel oftentimes like we're alone, like we lose people and here we are alone. We're so conditioned to buy into these beliefs, but like I see it in you. Like when you know that you're
Mhm.
like, you are connected to infinite love always. That love doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't disappear. And we're all here for a time. And what we do with this time, like I look at the love, like you literally overflow love. You do. You just overflow. But when you know that like love didn't leave you. You aren't lacking love. You're overflowing love all the time while you're here.
Yes. Yes. And it took, you know, most of my audience knows this, but some may not, that I actually lost the man that I was dating earlier this year in March to a tragic, like unanticipated, it was like one of those holy cow moments where you get that phone call. And I lost him to a tragic death. And yet what I've learned so profoundly is you're exactly right. There really is no death. There's transition.
Yeah.
There's transition. And not just for him. He transitioned into another realm, right? He left this body and transitioned back into source, spirit, energy, love, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But what a profound transition for me that triggered, with that awareness, with the veil being thin, knowing that we are so much more and we are so loved and so supported. And what that did for me, and I think that grief comes in many different shapes and sizes, right? Grief, we associate it with death, but it is not just death.
No.
You go through grief with great change. So I have no doubt that when you were going through all of that, like years and years ago, when you said you actually did lose people to, transition, there's grief there. But then also what you went through with your husband, like your relationship, even though it was happening for you, and even though now you can look back in hindsight and say, well, it's better than it ever has been. We needed to go through that for him to have healing, for us to get to where we are. In that time that it was changing and shifting, I'm sure there was deep, deep grief.
It is. And when we realize though that we like get to unfold and peel back the layers like of our lives, right? We're souls. And so a lot of our armor that we wear, like if we realize like we were born as souls, you see it, these innocent, the kiddos, and they live and they love and they laugh and they play. And we were all that way. And then all these conditions happen. We get left out on the recess playground, or we don't get chosen, or the one time when XYZ happens, right? And then we armor. We just keep piling on all these layers of armor to try to protect ourselves from experiencing pain. And it doesn't prevent pain, right? And B, the same armor that we try to use to protect against pain also armors us against experiencing the goodness of life. And so when we can start to peel back those layers and realize that no matter how vulnerable, no matter how exposed we feel, no matter as we pull these layers of armor off, we're held, we're safe, we're held, we're safe, we're held. And so getting back to that original version of us that's like, I'm source energy, I'm light, I'm connected to infinite love. It's safe to love, it's safe to live, it's safe to experience, and even it's safe to have pain and know that we can walk through that. We can walk through that. And to me, that's what I feel with your Uncaged Woman movement is it's safe. Like, let's go. You have everything you need within you, every single thing that you need to go through every single thing. So you might as well allow yourself to experience joy. Allow yourself to be a warrior. Allow yourself to change. Allow yourself to make an executive freaking decision that you don't have to do business as usual. You don't.
I love it. Amen. Preach, sister. Honest to God. Yes to all that. Like so much yes. Because when we say that and we realize it's happening for us and we get to a pivotal point where we can walk through the freaking fire, come out the other side, and what does it do? Like what it did for me, it woke me up. It lit me up. I want to live. When you come through something like that and you survive it, you want to live, right? You have choices. We always have two choices, love or fear. Fear says go into the hole, go down the rabbit hole, go into more fear, put on the armor, pull up the covers. Love says dance, step in, live, like embrace it all, do all the things. This is the life that you manifested into to do all of those things.
Yes.
So it's it's like, woo. And that's where my gypsy comes alive and goes crazy, because I resonate so deeply with that journey that you're about to embark on, and the one that you are on. Not just that you're going to get an RV, the life that you've embraced, right? And that we can all do that. Like not all of us can get an RV and take off, but we can, right where we are in this moment, become uncaged. Right here in this moment, we can put on our war paint and say, let's do this. We can step out. I started a woman's, like I'm a part of a group. I didn't start it. That is for 6 months, and we're doing female embodiment practice. And it's this free movement with dance and music, and it's amazing. So when we say yes to the universe says yes to us as well.
Yeah. They're like, did you see that? Trudy just added more hell yes into her life. Deliver her more hell yes. And then the more that, like, literally, if you think of life that way, if you just an easy practice, if you think that the universe says yes to everything that you think and feel, you're a lot more careful, right? Like the universe is the waiter or the waitress delivering more of what you say that you want, or more of what you think. And so Trudy's like, more expression and more gypsy soul and more living life and more dancing. And the universe is like, Trudy just added more dancing and laughter and love and happiness. And then you experience that. But what most of us do is we're like, no, universe, I don't want more fear. I don't want more scarcity. I don't want more. And the universe is like, I'm sorry, all I'm hearing is fear and scarcity. What is it that you're ordering? When we're more conscientious, and something that really resonated with me with what you said is to realize that we can be like, when we walk through the fire, it wakes us up to live life differently. And if there's someone listening to your podcast right now that is going through a dark night of the soul and they don't see a way out, as silly or difficult as it may seem, if you literally sit down and write down how this is a gift in your life, I promise you things will change. Because a lot of times what happens is there's this, our soul's like, hey, you came here to do these things. Hey, you have life inside of you. Hey, you were meant to experience the goodness. And we don't listen. And so sometimes it is that subtle difference between this is happening to me, I'm a victim, oh gosh, how could this be happening? Universe, why would you do this? God, why are you allowing this to happen? And okay, I've just been existing. I'm ready to start living now. I'm allowing this to be the opportunity. This is the catalyst. This is the fire that Trudy was talking about. I'm going to get to the other side of it. I don't know how. I don't even see. I can't see ahead of me, but I'm trusting that on the other side, there's life. And maybe it's just that difference of choice that sometimes I look back at so much of my life in which I just existed. I woke up, I went to work, I did the things, I did the to-do list. I didn't taste the joy, the bliss, the power, the abundance, the support, the camaraderie, the tasting of life. And sometimes it comes delivered in a shit freaking sandwich. It does. Sometimes it's a shit sandwich and you have to like, but if you can choose to be like, okay, that was not what I ordered, but I'm ready to go. I'm ready. The magic happens on the other side of it. And I just want to encourage your listeners to not give up just because it might feel hard right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. There are so many times when it feels easier to give up and you lose hope, right? You just sort of feel flattened, like you just lose hope. Is this what life is all about? I can remember being angry at the universe. But within days, there was reassurance. Within days, there were the right people, the right messages, the right support showing up, the right signs when we're listening. And it was almost like I felt like I unleashed on the universe. I was so angry. And the universe, in response, held me. Love. Gave me signs of love, sent me signs of reassurance, sent me like the right messengers, the right people, the right love, because the universe is kind and benevolent and love. And so when we think that, I understand what you're saying about how we're like tuning forks and when the universe, we're placing an order, but above that is love. And when we are in despair, we are held by the love that created the entire universe, that is the entire universe.
And it's always available.
Always.
It's always available. And I think that is another one of the big gifts that comes with whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it tragedy, if you want to call it pain or despair, one of the profound gifts, one of the biggest gifts of all of life is when you realize that. When you realize that there's nothing that you can go through that you couldn't grow through. There's nothing in which you cannot get through, and that love is there 100% of the time. It never leaves you. It doesn't go anywhere. When you're sleeping, when you're sick, when you're grieving, when you're in pain, and that you get to call on that all the time. You get to tune into that all the time. And that's your natural state. That's your natural frequency. And so, you brought so many tears to my eyes when you shared with me about being in the hospital bed, and you could literally feel the light, the love. Like
I felt it. I felt when I was in the hospital with COVID for 11 days, for those that don't know, and literally fighting for my life. And I was having a profound out-of-body experience almost the entire time. And I was experiencing both my spiritual self and my human self at the same time, completely aware of both. And I knew that I had this tribe. I had prayer warriors, I had light workers, I had sound healers, I had so many people, hundreds of people that were sending me healing energy in one form or another. And I, as the spiritual being that I was experiencing, and then through the human, I felt, how do I describe that? On a spiritual level, I felt it. And then on a physical level, I literally took it in and felt it. Every single prayer. And when we talk about how, like in scripture, it says that God, like, he feels, or he's aware of every tear that falls, like he gathers our tears. That's what it felt like to me. Like, you think, how does the universe have the capacity to be so aware of each one of our tears or each one of our prayers, to hear it all? And when I was in that state, I felt every prayer, every bit of love, every bit of light. And as it was coming through from spirit to my body, I felt it as if you imagine like a drop of water, like a raindrop, but it was light and it was yellow and white. And like every single prayer, every single well wish, every bit of love came to me in this trickle, like a shower coming through my body and going straight to my lungs and offering this healing light that was repairing what was going on in there. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I just, I love what you just said. There's nothing that you can go through that you cannot grow through. That's quotable, girl. I'm going to write that down and put your name on it.
I have no idea where I heard it, but I say it all the time. Yeah. You grow through what you go through. And it's truth.
Yeah. And so it's like we actually have access to so much more than we realize. And sometimes it takes going through those dark nights of the soul for us to get in touch, for us to slow down long enough to feel it and recognize it. And when we do, the gifts are always there for us. Like you said, it's always available to us. It's just that it's like the sun's always shining, and then you have a cloudy day or cloudy month and you think that the sun doesn't exist anymore. No, the sun is always there. It's our experience, it's our thoughts that are creating the cloud cover that are blocking the sun. The moment that we turn towards the sun, it's still there. It's still there. And we have that ability all the time. Yeah. So I want to ask you, before we wrap it up, for encouragement, advice, as far as somebody that is, maybe they're in a dark night, maybe they're not in a dark night, maybe they're just on that cusp of like that feeling, like you said, I want more. Is this all there is? I want more. They heard me say that you were going to embark on this life, and it lit something up in front of them. Like, what's your advice to them? Like, to follow that path, to go for the dream. Like, what would you say to somebody like that?
Oh, there's so many things I would say. Like, first of all, I do believe, and I say this all the time, I believe that we are all here for purpose, with purpose, and on purpose, 100% of the time. And I think sometimes, when we're feeling more on the depressed side or whatever, we could really just look for moments of fulfillment. So decide what your purpose is. If now you're reminded that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, what do you want this human experience to be like? So, start really journaling. Journaling is the biggest gift. Start journaling, like, what brought me joy when I was a kid? What are the things that I've forgotten about? What could I do if there were literally zero limits? Because truly there are no limits. I could go into a whole thing about our paradigm, but we all have a paradigm, a program that has almost exclusive control over our results. And so we all have bought into belief systems that are maybe outdated. So we're trying to operate iPhones with a Windows 99 system, and it's just a little outdated. It's like, so, really start looking at those programs, getting a mentor, somebody like Trudy, or somebody that can help you, like, be at the top of the mountain and say, turn left, turn right, because I think sometimes we're so in the weeds. With our life, we only see what's right in front of us. But all I can say is, if you have breath, you have purpose. And your purpose could really completely drastically change someone else's life, whatever that looks like. And they say that there's a saying that your greatest joy meets the world's deepest need. So figure out what your joy is. Live that joy, live that bliss, start taking the steps, and just don't get to the end of your life with regrets. Like, let this be the trip around the sun that you are like, oh my gosh, I tasted life. It was so fun. And just never give up on a hard day. You got this.
So beautiful. You are a gift, my dear. And we will make sure that if you guys want to follow Angie on Facebook, and I'll make sure you have all of the links and things you need to know how to stay in touch with this beautiful woman. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And this is a brand new podcast. So any of you listeners, or if you're watching in Uncaged Woman, you're watching the video, we love you. We appreciate you. We love you. You are loved.
Yes. Oh, thank you,
sweetie.